Hey, what is up, guys? This is Bo, or Carl Hungus 712. Today I'm bringing you a video about the top 10 weapons currently in Black Ops 3. This is one thing I've always wanted to do for you guys, and I'd love to do weapon reviews or weapon guides for you guys, kind of like you've seen from Xbox Ahoy and Drifter, because I think I'd be pretty good at it, and I think I'd enjoy it, and I really think you guys would enjoy it. But the game's a little further along, and I just haven't had time to do it, so I might save it for the next Call of Duty. If you guys are interested in that, I'd love to do it for you guys. One of the bad things, of course, when you do weapon reviews is that guns are constantly being patched, either buffed or nerfed, made better, made worse. So that's one of the bad things with doing weapon reviews, but I definitely would like to do them in the future. But I wanted to bring you guys the top 10 weapons after the last couple of patches, because I know a lot of times I've heard people say, what's the best gun? What's your favorite gun? Why is it? And basically, I always go to, Drifter's videos, Ahoy's video. Ahoy doesn't do them anymore. I think he was the best at doing the weapon reviews. But the Den Kierson forums, if you guys want me to link that down in the description, I definitely can for you guys. The Den Kierson forums, they're the best. Basically, there's a guy over there named Marvel4. He basically gets all the information for all the weapons, all the specialists, just anything and everything in Call of Duty. These guys have information from rate of fire to range on the guns, from damage output and profile. They just do a phenomenal job, so a shout out to those guys. But anyways, let's get to the list. On number 10 on my list of the best weapons in Black Ops 3, number 10 would be the ICR. Now, the ICR is one of my favorite guns in the game. I love this gun. This gun is a complete laser beam. The ICR would be similar to the M27 from Black Ops 2. Now, in this video, I'm going to link a lot of these guns back to Black Ops 2 because I feel like that's what they did with a lot of these guns. These guns are very similar to the ones from Black Ops 2, just with a different name and maybe a few other characteristics. Now, the ICR is used in competitive. Like I said, also, guys, just one more side note here. Being a competitive player like I am, a lot of these guns are going to be more along the competitive lines due to damage, because I know a lot of times people will say, well, why didn't you include this gun, or why'd you include that gun? That gun sucks. These are just based off of damage profiles and rate of fire and controllability, so that's where I'm getting all these rankings from, just from me personally, and I'm an assault rifle player, so there's going to be more ARs on this list. And anyways, with the ICR is just like the M27. It's a laser beam. It has a good rate of fire, not a great one, just a good one. A very controllable gun. I mean, if you want a gun that's easy to use, that does well at long ranges, just an overall good weapon, that's what the ICR-1 is. Now, of course, the downfall with the ICR-1 is the damage profile is much lower than some of the other guns, and the rate of fire on most of the guns in this game are much lower than they used to be in Call of Duty, so the ICR-1 shoots kind of slow, or not slow, but, it's not a high rate of fire gun. It's right in the middle. So if you guys want a really controllable gun that really works well, go with the ICR-1. Number 9 is one of my favorite guns, which is the Pharaoh. It's a submachine gun. It's a lot later in the game. The Pharaoh reminds me basically of the Chi-Com from Black Ops 2. Now, if you guys didn't use the Chi-Com in Black Ops 2, it was a very underrated weapon. I don't think anybody in the game ever used the Chi-Com that I saw. I think I was about the only one that ever did. And the Chi-Com was a phenomenal gun. It was just like the Scorpion, which the Scorpion would be like the Vesper in this game, but it was more controllable. You could burst fire just as fast as a Scorpion, and it was like a laser beam. It was very accurate, very good weapon. Like I said, the Pharaoh is really good for those submachine gun players like me, who if I put on a submachine gun, I pre-aim a lot of corners. I don't fire from the hip a lot, so the Pharaoh is really good for that. Number 8 is the HVK-30. Now, the HVK, again, is another weapon that I absolutely love. It's one of those guns that it feels great when you use it. It has a very good rate of fire. Basically, its damage output is the same as the ICR-1, but with the HVK has the recoil pattern's a little bit different. I don't think it's quite as controllable as the ICR-1, but the HVK shoots faster. It has a higher RPM, so that's why the HVK is a little bit higher. But again, just another gun, if you want a gun that feels good in your hands, it kind of fits all kinds of roles. It's not great in any of them, but it's good at a lot of them. That's the HVK-30. Now, number 7 was a gun that it was kind of the overpowered, or I shouldn't say overpowered, but it was the AR that everybody seemed to like to use in the Black Ops 3 beta, but it ended up getting nerfed a few times and changed around. Still a phenomenal gun, and that's the Man of War. Now, the Man of War is, to me, the Man of War is like an LMG, basically with, it has kind of a lower rate of fire, but it does a ton of damage. Or I shouldn't even say necessarily an LMG, it's probably more like the Scar H from Black Ops 2. Very, like I said, a slow rate of fire, does a ton of damage, but it has quite a bit of kick to it. So you don't want to try to cross-map people with this gun, but kind of a mid-range assault rifle / anchor roll, that's what the Man of War would be perfect for. But definitely give it a try if you guys haven't. Number 6, this is a submachine gun, the VMP. Now, I love the VMP. It's one of the best guns in the game, and it tends to be the gun the pros like the most when it comes to submachine guns. Now, just a little spoiler here, I don't think the VMP is as good as the Kuda, and I don't even think it's close, but it tends to be the gun that a lot of the pros like to use. Like I said, I love it too. It's, again, another gun that's very controllable. You can actually cross-map people with this submachine gun because the kick is very vertical, so as long as you pull down on the stick while you're firing it, you can basically shoot people across the map with this submachine gun. Very good iron sights, good rate of fire, good damage output. It's basically like the MP7 from Black Ops 2. It's not as accurate as the MP7, but it's kind of along the same lines. That's what role that would fill to me, so that'd be number 6. Number 5 on my list was my favorite gun from the Black Ops 3 beta. It's still one of my favorite guns. You don't see me use it quite as much just because it gets banned a lot in competitive, and usually I try to use more competitive classes. And number 5 would be the Shiva. Now, the Shiva would fill a similar role in Black Ops 3 as the SMR did in Black Ops 2. Now, a lot of times people say, well, it's the FAL. Well, no, it's not even close to the FAL. The FAL, you could really spam the trigger, and basically it was like a 2-shot, fully automatic weapon if you had a good trigger finger. I remember in Black Ops 2, I could just shred people up close. I mean, I could beat submachine gun users up close with an FAL in Black Ops 2, which shouldn't happen. But if you had a good trigger finger, the Black Ops 2 was really, really powerful. But anyways, the Shiva is more like the SMR, which, again, was a phenomenal gun in Black Ops 2. But the SMR, you couldn't spam the trigger with it. It had a much slower fire rate. And the SMR was more used for longer range combat, basically kind of a mid to long range assault rifle anchor roll. So if you guys haven't used the Shiva, I definitely recommend it. Put high caliber on it. It's like a sniper rifle with one-shot headshots. Number 4 is probably my favorite submachine gun. After the last patch, it was nerfed. It would have been number 1 on my list, but after the last patch, I moved it down to 4, and that's the Vesper. Now, the Vesper is very similar to the Scorpion from Black Ops 2. It's an extremely, ridiculously high rate of fire submachine gun. So you will tear through ammo quite a bit. You need a grip. You need extended mags on it more than likely. If you don't put extended mags on it, you're going to have a tough time taking on multiple enemies. It can be done, but it's tough. But the Vesper, what made this gun so great was it had a high rate of fire, and you could cross-map people with this gun before the latest patch. They added more recoil to it, so it's a little harder to control, but I don't think it's that bad. The recoil, I think, is still pretty controllable on it. So I think it's still an elite weapon. You don't see it used quite as much in the pros just because it's a little more difficult to use, but it fills more that niche role now of close-range SMG, but again, another gun that if you learn the recoil pattern on this gun, you will rip people up left and right. It's not even close. Number 3 on my list, the best submachine gun in the game, bar none, the Kuda. Now, the Kuda is very similar to the MSMC from Black Ops 2. If you guys weren't around or didn't play competitively in Black Ops 2, the MSMC was the best submachine gun in the game. It was, you could hit people from quite a ways out, about mid-range. Couldn't really cross-map people. I mean, you could, but the MSMC, it was basically the submachine gun that dominated the entire game. It was good up close. It was good at a distance. But the thing with the MSMC was you had to hit all your shots. If you missed shots with it, you were kind of screwed with it because it didn't have an extremely high rate of fire. That's kind of how the Kuda is, too. The Kuda is better. you know, as like I said, as the MSMC, if you're accurate, if you can hit all your shots, it's got the best damage profile. It hits hard. It's a hard hitting sub, and that's why I put it ahead of the VMP and the Vesper. It's very controllable. I think the iron sights are very clean on it. Some people don't like the little circle around the iron sight bar, but I think it's a very clean gun. Basically, I run, I think, quick draw and stock on it. Phenomenal gun. Definitely give it a try. Number 2 on the list is probably my favorite gun in the game, and I'll explain why I didn't put it number 1. Number 2 on the list is the M8A7, which, if you guys didn't play Black Ops 2 again, the M8A1 from Black Ops 2 is the exact same as the M8A7. In Black Ops 2, though, the M8, you could kind of spam the trigger like you could the SVU, which made it kind of annoying because it was an assault rifle, but you can compete up close with submachine guns with it a bit in Black Ops 2. It wasn't overpowered by any means, but you could sometimes compete with subs. Now in Black Ops 3, they nerfed the fire rate quite a few times from the beta, and even, I think, in recent times they did again. So you can't spam the trigger as much with it, but it's one of those assault rifle weapons that if you can hit all your shots, you will absolutely destroy the other team. And one of the gameplays I'll bring you guys later on was a game I think I went 38-1 in Hardpoint using the M8 and just one bursting people left and right. So it's just a phenomenal gun. It's a burst fire gun, so of course if you're an accurate player, you're going to love it. If you're not the most accurate player, you're not going to like it. So if you're not the most accurate player, I'd say go with something like the Havoc or the ICR. Now, number 1 on my list is the XR2, another burst fire gun. Now, the XR2, the reason I put it ahead of the M8 is because the XR2 has a better damage profile. It doesn't have as much of a damage drop-off as the M8. Now, the XR2, like I said, fire rate-wise and stuff, it's not quite as great as the M8. The M8, you can spam it a little bit more. But the XR2, again, with the damage profile and everything, if you hit your shots, if you land your shots with the XR2, you will rip people to shreds, especially with high caliber, with basically all the assault rifles. You throw a high caliber on there, it's ridiculous, but especially these precision weapons like the XR2, the M8, and the Shiva. But the XR2 is just, it's the top, in my opinion, it's the best gun in the game. It's top-notch, bar none. And if I had to compare it to a gun in Black Ops 2, it'd be like the SWAT 5.56, but I think it would be a little bit better than the SWAT. Now, the SWAT was a great gun, in my opinion. If you guys don't remember, the SWAT was the burst fire gun that not very many people used in Black Ops 2, just because the M8 kind of outclassed it in every way. The SWAT, you had to connect all your shots on. If you didn't, there was a burst fire delay, so it'd be pop, pop, pop. You had to wait a second, then pop, pop, pop again. So it'd be closest to the SWAT, but a much better version of the SWAT, I guess. But anyways, that's my top 10 for you guys. I wanted to bring you guys that for quite a while. Let me know in the comment section if you guys enjoy these kinds of videos, these top 10s. Like I said, I'll get on the series that I have been doing. I've just been sick the last couple of days, as you can probably hear in my voice and stuff. I don't sound quite as good as I usually do. And I've ran into a lot of hackers on World at War, because that's the next game I was trying to bring you guys. But I'm hoping to bring you guys another upload today. If not, I'll definitely bring you one tomorrow with World at War. But let me know in the comment section again, guys, if you like these type of videos. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and watching. Thanks for all the subscribers I've gotten throughout my YouTube career. I really appreciate it, guys. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see you next video, and bow out.
Hostiles have captured the hard point. Friendly Talon inbound.